All right, good morning, everyone. All right, good morning, everyone. All right, sorry, I'm starting a little late here, but we're now good to go. All right, so let's go over yesterday first. Actually, let's jump into something else first. So, Treasury Secretary Yellen spoke yesterday. Where was that? Right here. All right, U.S. financial system is safest and most liquid in the world. Banking system is sound despite recent pressure. Um, government could backstop more deposits if necessary to stop contagion. Treasury Secretary Yellen said Tuesday that the government is ready to provide further guarantees of deposits if the banking crisis worsens. In remarks prepared for a speech to the American Bankers Association, the former Federal Reserve Chair said authorities believe that they have taken appropriate actions to stem liquidity problems in the sector, but will do more if needed. The steps we took were not focused on aiding specific banks or classes of banks. Our intervention was necessary to protect the broader U.S. banking system, she said, and similar actions could be warranted if smaller institutions suffer. All right. Now, this is important because she did say prior to this, in a previous statement, she said that they would not guarantee the funds of banks if the banks are not considered to be systemically important. Now that's a backpedaling of what they previously said. Now she's saying that they will. So that basically was something that I mentioned before. We had to expect that that would happen because if she didn't say that, she's basically telling everyone, "Hey, uh, if everything goes wrong, sorry, we're not going to help you." And that's basically an incentive for any business that has their funds in a smaller bank. If they're not FDIC insured, if they're above the limit, then the bank might as well. I mean, the business might as well withdraw their funds because if they don't, then they basically are putting themselves at risk. And they will put it into a bank like J.P. Morgan or Bank of America that will be considered systemically so important they can't allow that to happen. If that makes sense. So, in short, she's now saying, "Well, we'll take care of everything if we need to." Right. This is basically proof positive that there's a bigger problem. Otherwise, they wouldn't be spending all this time trying to assure everyone that there isn't. So don't be surprised when you see other banks going under or other problems coming up as a result of this. We'll see. Okay. So more volatility to come. Today is the 22nd, which means that today we got the FOMC economic projections, the FOMC statement, federal funds rate, and the FOMC press conference. So today is the big day. This is the day where we find out if the Federal Reserve is going to continue to raise interest rates, if they're going to stop raising interest rates, what are they going to do? Are they going to lower interest rates? We'll see. Now, in principle, if they lowered interest rates by, let's say, half a point, that would actually benefit this situation to some extent, but I don't know for sure because there's always these extra things that could happen as a result. So we'll have to see. Then tomorrow we've got the Swiss National Bank, and the British Central Bank, the Bank of England. They're also going to be announcing their changes in interest rates. So this is a big week because even though technically that's overseas, it is going to affect our markets. It does affect the overall banking system, the global banking system. So this is a big week. So we'll see what happens. So I don't know what they're going to do, but I do know that that decision is going to be critical in determining what the market does going forwards and what people expect going forwards. Okay, so just expect that today will be just like some other days, lots of volatility, choppiness, etc. Okay. Now, that being said, yesterday was actually not a bad day. However, for some reason, I did not remember to place or to write down some of the better stocks that we found. So my list might be a little shorter than what it should be. I know that we had Tesla, we had Plug Power. I think Lucid also had a good day. Let me see here. Yes, it did. Lucid. Um, PayPal, right? We had quite a few, right? So I have them up, some of them up, but there are a few that I missed. But it doesn't really matter. We'll go through some of the better, some of the ones that stood out. Okay. Now, so we got PayPal up on the screen here. So let's start with that. So that's PayPal right up here. And as you can see, I had a pretty good day for PayPal. Basically, start the day yesterday on foot. Sorry. And from there, oh, come on. From there, basically just went up for most of the day. So, very exploitable move there. We had Plug Power, which also had a good move, starting at the beginning of the day. Sharp move up. Then lots of up and down, but still good move. Definitely exploitable. We had Lucid. Similarly, good move there. Mara. Let's put that on the screen. I'll replace PayPal with that. A good move yesterday on Mara. Pretty wavy, but good move. So after the first initial quick run, it almost got to target number one to pull back. Then it proceeded to get into a nice trend that lasted for the rest of the day. Topping out, by the way, about oh, how long was that before the close? Topped out about an hour and 20 minutes before the close, right at what was at the time target number two. Okay, so even though this line wouldn't have been there yesterday, that was target number two. So it got to that too. So nice move. Um, what else? PACW was a decent mover as well. Uh, Pac West Bancorp. Didn't start off too well, but did have some nice runs up here. Then another one up there. So two nice runs to the upside. Of course, Tesla had a great day yesterday. Very strong performer. I did do a demonstration of a reversal trade on that. Not to say that that's the only trade you should be trying to do, but if you trade with the trend, just catch it on the rebounds, and pretty much that's it. Let it run. So nice move for Tesla. Just would hit some major resistance from time to time and would pull back and then proceed forwards. Right. So at the end of yesterday, it did hit a large amount of sellers at the price 198. So it didn't get to target number two, which was actually 198.78, because all those sellers stood in the way. So where this topped out yesterday was basically where it was 198, which was where a very large number of sellers were sitting. There wasn't enough end of the day pressure to move through them. And then Rivian was a little weird. It moved fast at the beginning of the session yesterday to the upside right there. And then after that, pulled back and rebounded again. But Rivian got stuck at target number one, which yesterday was 1363. It couldn't get past it. Right. There are other stocks that did well too. Okay. I mean, you can pretty much name them. The NASDAQ itself yesterday, pretty decent. Um, at first, it was going down, but then after we got through the middle of the day, it just went on a nice run to the upside. So that's why most stocks around the middle of the day, after the NASDAQ had settled down, most stocks got into a good trend up. So if you didn't catch anything at the open, you definitely have a second chance later. Okay. So overall, not a bad day for trending moves, and also there are other things that were exploitable as well. So that brings us to today. Let's look at our pre-market and see what we got. So as of this moment, let's see. Right now, here's all I got. I don't see a lot right now, but that doesn't mean that I see everything. I might be missing some things. So pre-market, let me pull up my chart for pre-market. Okay, so right now we've got, firstly, let's see what the NASDAQ is doing. The NASDAQ is not up, it's actually slightly down from yesterday's close. So Tesla's actually moving pretty well pre-market. Let's take a look at it. It's back above $200 a share. Well, it was back above $200 a share, right there, right? So got above 200, went to 200.55 as the high, then came back down. A little craziness here. And then after that, it's basically trading just about around 199 a share. So Tesla fairly active pre-market. We'll have to see what happens, but I will put it on the radar. I'm a little hesitant to do that because, as I've mentioned to you guys in the coaching room, not everyone seems to trade Tesla very well, but today might be that day. Bed Bath & Beyond does a quick spike higher. Now, one of the guys that works for me, for my company, he was looking at Bed Bath & Beyond and saw that it spiked. And basically, I guess what he was asking me is, should he park money into it? And I just said, look, this company is going to go bankrupt pretty much at some point. I mean, it's pretty much guaranteed at this point. There's always a possibility they'll survive, but I don't think it's a good probability. So I said, if it's a day trade, if it's moving in a day, sure, take advantage of it, but don't park any money in this. But currently it's moving up, but it's still under $1 for Bed Bath & Beyond. So it's not worth parking money in. I know that people tend to get tempted when they see that the price of something is cheap, and they'll say something like, well, the worst that can happen to me is I'll lose. In other words, if you bought 1,000 shares of this, worst case scenario, you're going to lose $1,000, right? If it goes bankrupt. But if it doubles or triples from here, then of course you'll make a lot more money. So on the surface, it doesn't look so bad. But I always look at probability. Just because I could potentially make a lot of money on something doesn't mean I will. In other words, I could buy $1,000 in lottery tickets and there's not a very good chance I'm going to win. So yes, and potential is, I buy the lottery tickets and I might make a lot of money, but what are my chances of that happening? Now, good luck telling that to anyone who plays the lottery, because I've never met anyone who plays the lottery and says, well, I got to think of this statistically. It's just, hey, the lottery's really big. Let me buy a ticket. It's going to cost me X number of dollars. No big deal. If it doesn't work, so what? Okay, I'm not going to argue with that. I mean, it's a small amount of money. It's not important. But if the money is important, right? In other words, if you're taking your life savings, may not be such an easy decision. Probably not a good decision either, right? So if it's disposable chump change and you happen to win the lottery, it's great. Well, in trading, it doesn't really work that way. You do have to put up a significant amount of money to make a significant amount of money. So in short, in this case, I can't buy something for really, really cheap. I could buy options maybe. That would be my only option. No pun intended. But even with that, it's not the same, reward to risk. I can't risk $5 like I could on a lottery ticket and win, $500 million. That's not going to happen in an options trade. The leverage, is not going to be high enough to produce that type of gain. So in short, since we're trading, we can't make decisions like that. Okay, we got to be smart. So for Bed Bath & Beyond, I'm not going to put on the radar for today, but if it does get back above $1, it's moving far enough that it's worth looking at, then I will. All right, ETNB is moving pre-market. Let's take a look at that. Okay, so here's ETNB. As you can see, pretty significant volatility before the start of the day, then a quick move up. Now it's trading at 14.20. So the stock currently is up just under 30% from where it was yesterday. It did briefly pass over 30% earlier. I don't know what the news is. I haven't looked yet, but let's see. Something about top line data looks like. So we'll put this on the radar. This is a NASDAQ stock, so it's right up our alley. ETNB, also a stock we've seen before. All right. Now Virgin Orbit Holdings actually got to $1.13 pre-market, but it's not there right now. Let me just pull this up. VORB is a symbol. So can't see it. So let me scroll back. There it is. So there's the peak pre-market, right? Got up to over $1. Now it's selling off, trading under $1. So I will not add this as something that we're going to watch per se. I'm just going to make a note of it for myself and then set an alert. So I'll set an alert here. Where last price is greater than or equal to $1 and let's just say 5 cents. Okay. Display. That's it. So now if it gets above that price, then we'll take a look at it. All right. And then I'm going to look at next. Yep, we got ETMB. We got it. So CISO is moving also, but it's too cheap, under $1. So not going to do anything with this. What you can't see is that it's down a lot. The stock is down, 10.9%. I think it's down more than that, but anyway. But it was down a lot yesterday. So I'm not looking at the stock, just making a note that it's moving. So we'll see. So right now, that is everything that I see presently on my list. Doesn't mean that's all. Let me just look through here really quick. Let's see if anything else shows up. Let's see, Yell. I don't know what Yell is. Let's find out. There we go. Yeah, it's not trading enough volume. And that's not trading any volume. Not trading any volume. Yeah, these are all. So none of these actually will qualify. Yep. So we got, so far we got Tesla and ETMB. VORB we're not going to do because it's too cheap. But it's already one we just walked through. So other than that, actually here's IQ. That stock I do recognize. But again, they're not trading enough volume. So we need something that's trading a significant amount of volume. But those are the ones that we're going to watch at the open. Tesla and ETNB. Tesla could reverse, and ETNB also might just be a pump and dump, but we'll see. So that's what we got so far. Unless you guys see anything else besides those two. Of course, I already know VORB briefly went up, but it's not looking good now. All right, so that's all we got, folks. I'm going to go ahead and check out of the Premarket Pulse for now. Then we'll jump into the coaching room shortly. If anyone's not part of our services, be sure to check out fundertrading.com. Learn how we fund traders to trade for our account with a starting of $100,000 trading account. So, and fundertrading.com. For everyone else, I'll see you in the coaching room, and we'll pick up from there. Okay? Thanks, everyone. See you tomorrow.